My SIL spent years trying to destroy my marriage. Then she tried to run me over with her car. I need to get this off my chest because I still shake when I think about it, and it's been 3 months. My name doesn't matter. What matters is that 4 months ago, my brother's wife pointed her SUV at me in a parking lot, gunned the engine, and only missed killing me because I threw myself onto the hood of a parked car hard enough to break 2 ribs. I'm going to tell you everything, from the beginning, because the stupid argument that set it off wasn't stupid at all. It was the final straw after 2 years of a woman quietly trying to burn my marriage to the ground. I'm 34. My husband, I'll call him Mark, and I have been married 6 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter. My younger brother, Danny, married a woman named Ashley almost 3 years ago. I want to be fair here, I tried to like Ashley. I really did. Family is family, and I was raised to give people the benefit of the doubt. But almost from the day Danny brought her home, something felt off. Ashley has this way of being sweet to your face and razor-sharp the second you turn around. The first red flag was small. At Thanksgiving, she made an offhand comment to Mark about how, some men just settle, you know, life's too short to settle. Mark laughed it off. I didn't laugh. Then it became a pattern. She'd corner Mark at family gatherings, always with some excuse. Help me carry this. Can you look at my car? It's making a noise. Danny said you'd know about this. Every single time. It was an excuse to get him alone for 10, 15 minutes. She'd laugh a little too loud at everything he said. She'd touch his arm. She'd bring up the good old days, from a summer she and Mark's friend group all hung out together. Years before Mark and I even met, like she and Mark had some secret shared history that excluded me. I brought it up to Mark once gently, and he told me I was imagining things. She's just friendly, that's just how Ashley is. I let it go. I told myself I was being paranoid, that my brother's wife wouldn't actually try something. I wanted to believe that, but it didn't stop. It got worse. Over the next year, Ashley's behavior escalated in small, deniable ways. She started texting Mark directly, nothing overtly inappropriate, always something she could explain away. Hey, need Danny's number, mine's not working. A lie, I checked later, Danny's number never changed. Saw this and thought of you lol with a meme. Can you help me set up my new laptop? Danny's useless with computers. Each message alone meant nothing. Together, they meant everything. The gut punch moment came at my niece's christening, Danny and Ashley's daughter. I stepped outside to take a work call, and when I came back in, I saw Ashley standing close to Mark near the drink table, her hand resting on his forearm, talking low. And Mark's face had this uncomfortable, frozen look. The second she saw me, she snatched her hand back and said too brightly, "Oh, there she is," like we were old friends sharing an inside joke. I asked Mark in the car what that was about. He said, "She was just telling me she thinks Danny's cheating and she doesn't know what to do." My stomach dropped, not because I believed Danny was cheating, but because I recognized the tactic instantly. She was manufacturing intimacy. Give a man a secret to keep, and suddenly he's tied to you. I told Mark I didn't trust her. He got defensive, said I was reading too much into things, and reminded me she was family. That fight lasted 3 days. It was the first real crack in our marriage that Ashley had caused without doing a single dramatic thing. Just relentless, deniable, drip, drip, drip manipulation. Here's the thing about someone like Ashley. The sweetness is a mask, and once she realizes the mask isn't working fast enough, the real personality comes out. By year 2, she stopped being subtle around me specifically, while staying honey-sweet around Mark and the rest of the family. She'd make little comments about my parenting in front of everyone. She'd accidentally leave me off group texts for family events, then act shocked when I found out later. She told my mother-in-law that I was controlling and didn't like Mark spending time with his family, when the truth was the opposite. I loved his family, I just didn't trust her. Danny, my own brother, started pulling away from me too. I found out later Ashley had been feeding him a narrative for months, that I was jealous of their marriage, that I'd always been the difficult one. that I was trying to isolate Mark from his family. She was rewriting the story before I even knew there was a story to rewrite. I confided in my best friend, Priya, about all of it over dinner one night. She'd met Ashley twice and had an instant bad read on her. "She's love-bombing your husband and smear-campaigning you at the same time," Priya said. "That's not an accident. That's a strategy." Hearing someone else say it out loud, someone with no stake in the family drama, made something click into place for me. I wasn't crazy. I'd known it for 2 years, and I'd been gaslit into doubting my own eyes. 4 months ago, we were all at a family cookout at my parents' house. Danny and Ashley, Mark and me and our daughter, my parents, my aunt visiting from out of state. It should have been a nice day. Ashley brought up, in front of everyone, that Mark had been such a good listener when she'd been going through a hard time a few weeks earlier. The same week Mark had told me he was working late 3 nights in a row. My blood went cold. I asked her calmly what she meant. She smiled and said, "Oh, nothing, just girl talk, don't worry about it," in that tone that's designed to make you look unstable if you push further. I didn't let it go this time. I asked Mark directly, in front of the whole family, if he'd been meeting up with Ashley without telling me. He looked panicked and admitted that yes, twice. She'd texted him upset and he'd met her for coffee as a friend, without mentioning it to me because he didn't want to start a fight. That was it. 2 years of watching this woman manufacture closeness with my husband, isolate me from his family, rewrite the narrative with my own brother. And now confirmation that he'd been secretly meeting her, and she stood there, smug, watching the whole thing blow up like she'd planned it. Because I think she had. I said, loud enough for the whole yard to hear, "You have spent 2 years trying to break up my marriage, and everyone's been too polite to say it out loud. I'm done being polite." I told her exactly what I'd seen, the texts, the secrets, the smear campaign to my mother-in-law, all of it, in front of my parents, my brother, my aunt, everyone. Ashley's face went white, then red. She screamed that I was insane and obsessed, and stormed off toward her car, dragging Danny with her, who looked like a man caught in a hurricane he didn't see coming. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. About 20 minutes later, I walked out to my car to get my daughter's forgotten stroller from the trunk. The driveway was long and gravel, lined with parked cars from the cookout. I didn't hear Ashley's SUV start. I didn't hear it because she'd been sitting in it, engine off, watching me through the windshield, waiting. The first I knew was the roar of the engine and the SUV lurching straight at me. I don't remember deciding to move. I remember throwing myself sideways onto the hood of my aunt's parked sedan, hard enough that I heard something crack in my chest before I even registered pain. The SUV missed me by, I was told later, less than 2 feet, and kept going. She didn't stop, didn't slow down. She drove straight past the end of the driveway and onto the road. Danny came running out, screaming her name. My dad called 911 before I could even get words out. I ended up with 2 fractured ribs and a concussion from hitting the car's hood and windshield. If I'd frozen for even half a second, if that sedan hadn't been parked exactly where it was, I would be dead. My daughter would have watched paramedics work on her mother in her grandparents' driveway. Here's the twist. My aunt, the one whose car I landed on, has a dash cam. It's one of those cheap ones she bought after a fender bender a year ago, and she genuinely forgot it was even running that day. It caught the entire thing. Ashley sitting motionless in the SUV for nearly 2 full minutes, phone in hand, before she started the engine and accelerated directly at me with no braking, no swerve. Nothing that looked like an accident. But that wasn't even the worst part of what the footage showed. In the background, faintly, you could see Ashley mouthing something to herself before she hit the gas. My aunt had it enhanced later for the police report. Lip readers hired by the DA's office confirmed what several of us suspected the moment we watched it slowed down. She said, "She ruins everything," right before she floored it. This wasn't a moment of blind rage from a stupid argument. She sat there, she thought about it, she chose it. The police arrived within minutes. Ashley was pulled over 4 miles away, still shaking, and arrested on the spot once the dashcam footage was reviewed. She was charged with assault with a deadly weapon and attempted vehicular assault. The DA's office took the premeditation seriously specifically because of the footage showing her sitting there. Beforehand, Danny was destroyed. I don't think he'd truly let himself believe until he watched that video with the rest of us at the police station. Just how far gone his wife really was, both the 2 years of manipulation aimed at my marriage, and the fact that she'd been willing to kill his sister over being exposed for it. He filed for divorce within the month and is fighting for primary custody of their daughter, citing the arrest and a pattern of behavior he says he'd been too blind to see. My mother-in-law, who Ashley had spent 2 years quietly poisoning against me, called me crying, apologizing for every doubt she'd ever had about me and every lie she'd believed. She told me Ashley had once told her, privately, that she thought Mark had married the wrong sister-in-law, meaning me, a comment my mother-in-law had brushed off at the time as a joke. Mark and I are in couples counseling. I won't pretend this didn't do damage, it did. 2 years of secret coffee meetings and hidden texts don't undo themselves because his sister-in-law tried to kill me. But he has been honest, completely honest, since that day in a way he wasn't before. And he testified against Ashley, without hesitation, when the DA's office needed a witness to the argument that preceded the attack. Update: 3 months later I said I'd update, so here it is. Ashley took a plea deal last month rather than go to trial with the dashcam footage and the lip-reading testimony hanging over her. She pled guilty to assault with a deadly weapon and is looking at real prison time, not probation. The DA pushed hard because of the premeditation evidence. Sentencing is in 6 weeks. Danny's divorce was finalized 2 weeks ago. He got primary custody of their daughter. Ashley's pending sentencing made the custody decision, in his lawyer's words, not a close call. He's rebuilding a relationship with our whole family, myself included, and for the first time in 3 years, I don't feel like I have to watch what I say at a family dinner. Ashley tried to reach out to me once, through a mutual friend, wanting to talk things through before sentencing. I said no. Some people only want to talk when the consequences are finally real. My ribs healed. The concussion symptoms took longer than I expected, but they're gone now too. What hasn't fully healed is how long it took the people around me to believe what I was seeing with my own eyes for 2 straight years. Before a woman had to try to kill me in a driveway for anyone to finally admit I'd been right the whole time. I'm not writing this for sympathy. I'm writing it because if you have a gut feeling about someone circling your marriage and everyone keeps telling you you're imagining it, you're probably not.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want more fascinating Reddit tales, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Archives of Reddit. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next story.